Expedition Overland's Great Pursuit is proudly presented by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. In association with Patriot Campers and P-Core Systems. In part by Stanley. Warn. Icon Vehicle Dynamics. Maxtrax. Garmin. CBI Off-Road Fabrication. Equipped. Aviator Paramotor. The Power of Red Arc. Magpul. It's been 2 months now since we returned from Utah and the first phase of our U.S. crossing. Life hasn't slowed down much, and in fact, it's ramping up as we're in the final week of prep before heading back to Utah to finish the journey south. Rachelle is working on her own mission. Lexus has supported her for this year's Rebelle Rally, and she is in the final stages of prepping the GX460. With only a week to prepare her GX, our good friends Kevin and Michelle Davis of Sugar High hop over to the shop to get some critical last-minute installs done on the Rally computer. They're the ones to do it, as they have participated several times in the Rally. We're very grateful, because they're always willing to lend a hand.
Today is, we have a few of these days every year where either mom or dad goes somewhere. This is the start of both parents for us going somewhere. But we're not going together, we're going in 2 different places. Rachelle is able finally to participate in another Rebelle Rally this year. Yep. And she's going to be doing that while we're going to be traveling from Utah down into Mexico again. These boys get to grow up with adventurous parents, and that means they have to be gone, because adventurous things take you from home, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So these boys will be in school, mom will be rallying across the deserts of the US, and we'll be trying to fly our way south.
I'm gonna miss you.
There's something so humbling about when your loved ones support you in your dreams. Gets me every time.
Rachelle heads down to the start of the rally, while we continue to gear up for the trip. The Rebelle Rally is an all-women's rally raid that blends the love of driving with the ultimate challenge of precise navigation. It's not a race for speed, but a demanding event based on the elements of headings, hidden checkpoints, time, and distance using maps, compass, and roadbook skills. This is the biggest year yet for the Rebelle Rally. Rachelle meets up with her teammate and navigator Taylor Pauley. The 2 of them have entered the 4x4 class and the bone stock class. Their goal? Win. If they do, they will be the first team to win in a vehicle that's not a Jeep Wrangler. Good luck, girls.
We drew lucky number 1 on the very first day of the rally, and a lot of people hate drawing number 1 because you have to be here at 6:45. And it gives you less time to plot. It also means you have to be back here first. So we have 10 hours today. We have to be back here no later than 5 p.m. or else you start getting deducted points. We have a ton of points to do. We're gonna go for a lot of X checkpoints. That's the plan. We're just gonna go for it, see how we do. Got 1 enduro challenge on top of that, which meant a lot of math really early in the morning. But we're both really excited. We've been waiting for this for a long time, so we're ready to go. We're ready to kill it. Yeah.
Right out of the gate, the competition is ruthless, and we are all on our toes as they make their way through their first couple days of checkpoints. Back home, we are working on our own goals. The first objective, install the long-range automotive fuel tanks for this next section of the trip. We are going to need them if we want to stand a chance. Long Range Automotive even sent out Rob to help us install them. He'll be here for the next few days. First things first, we prep the tanks and go the extra mile by coating the tanks with a bedliner spray for further corrosion protection against our harsh winter roads. The Tacoma gets a replacement tank first. Now it totals 33 gallons. The Tundra receives a 46-gallon replacement tank. The Land Cruiser gets a 24-gallon auxiliary tank under the spare tire location, essentially doubling its range. Day after day, the XLs continue to crush in the competition. It's a race now of vehicle sympathy and pinpoint navigation skills. One wrong move or time delay will eliminate their chance for the podium.
We're hitting the point of delirium, so now everything's just funny.
Last but not least, Dark Horse Customs is finishing up the JL prototype fuel tank installed to our JT Gladiator, which required some heavy modifications, but the extra 16 gallons is mission critical. With the tanks all buttoned up, Tanner swaps out our original P-Core battery with a much higher end lithium battery from Revolution. With this install, we doubled our capacity, increased our charge rate, and lost a few pounds with this significant power upgrade. We reset the Red Arc Manager 30 profile from AGM to lithium, and the install is complete. Day 7 for the XLs is a big one. They're gaining a lot of checkpoints, but take a time penalty. It's neck and neck for first place.
So Mom, Rachelle, and Taylor have gone through and they still have one checkpoint left. It's literally coming down to the final checkpoint here because they're 4 points behind right now, and if they get this checkpoint, I mean that's the one we're waiting for. It's that one. And if they do well, if they get it right, they're gonna win. As far as I can tell.
Okay, we're just over 0.9. There it is! Yes! Woo! Last blue! Last one of the rally! Oh my gosh! Oh, last 8 points. We're gonna get it, and we're gonna go back, and we're gonna be all done. And I think we'll get first place. I think we just won the rally! I really hope so. I really hope so. Oh.
Here we go. Hello? Did you frickin' win this thing?
Did it,
Wow!
right?
Right!
I can't even believe what we just did. Oh my gosh. Oh, oh man, it was hard.
Was it?
Yeah, it was so hard, but so good.
I'm so proud of you and I love you so much.
Thank you, babe.
I wish I was there.
I do too. I was like, oh, there's every year for you to be here. I know. I miss you too. But Lexus did amazing.
Yeah. Well, you should be proud. You get back to your teammate, go celebrate, have a great time, love you. And when the festivities kind of settle down, give me a shout back.
All right, sounds good, babe. I love you so much.
All right, soak it up.
All right.
Love you.
Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.
That's awesome. Proud. Those are tears of joy. She needed that bad. Rock on. Men, back your women up. They are incredible. They've been through stuff. Help them through it. Because they're just so amazing. And that woman of mine has worked for years to overcome so much. A lot of difficulty, and tonight she's getting the reward.
All right. Like Emmy said, the vehicle in your driveway is way more capable than you think. And we had a new vehicle that was entered for the first time, a bone stock Lexus GX 460. They got it how long? A week before the rally? 2 weeks before the rally? Just goes to show you what you can do with a great truck, great driving, and great navigating. First place, team number 190, Rachelle Croft and Taylor Polly in 2019 Lexus GX 460.
It is such an honor to stand up here. Sorry, guys. It was an honor to sit next to Rachelle Croft, who taught me how to navigate in the first place. And then I taught her this year. Emily, I remember in 2012, when I was going to do Morocco, and you said, you just never know what this will lead you to. And it was so true. Thank you, Lexus, so much. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you to my husband, Clay Croft, best friend, Nikki. I'm gonna get through it, General Tire for putting some awesome tires, which we never got one flat or a low tire this whole time. So I just want to encourage all of you women, thank you all so much, all the teams that banded around and encouraged us every single day. So fun to rally with you this Rebelle. Thank you.
We weren't gonna miss this. There's no way we were gonna miss this.
Yeah.
No way. Wow. All the emotions.
With the gals' big win in the books, it's now the eve of our second phase of the border-to-border trip across America. And a few of us are winding down everyday life before we can head out on the road.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. This is what I've been up to in between these two trips. Came home and was thrust right into football season. I assistant coach for the Manhattan Tigers out here in Montana. We're on a 4 or 5 game winning streak right now. We're undefeated and we're looking really good this year. I coach on the defensive side of the ball mostly, and I just have a blast. I've had 2 good opportunities where I had time and the weather cooperated to get out and fly, which has been really good. I had really good flights, but that's way less than I wanted to fly. So I'm a little nervous moving into this next part down into the southern half of US and down into Mexico. But you know what? I guess we'll see how it goes.
belt cap. Fire back to pass. Oh! Belt cap keeps. He's in. Touchdown Tigers.
The Tigers will go on to the regional championship, but Ty will have to watch it from afar.
Just got done. Great surprise award ceremony. Now picking up more gear, headed to the airport right now. Go on another adventure.
So I'll just sit near these trophies that are going to decapitate me if anything bad happens.
I know there's so many. Thank you. Oh yes, miss you. I'll miss you too.
One adventure to the next.
Yep.
You get the kids now.
I do. I'll gladly take them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Let's go do our thing now.
All right.
Game on.
Got a super fun trip planned, but unfortunately, Megan can't come on this one. I'm gonna miss her.
I'll miss you too.
She'll be here taking care of the kiddos.
Childcare didn't quite line up for this trip, so I'll be here with the kids and cheering on the team. Wishing I was there, but cheering them on from here.
Let's go. We all have made our way back to where our last trip left off, at the Utah's Little Grand Canyon. Through the years, I've found that the most ideal overland expedition is comprised of 3 trucks and 7 crew members. This trip has a new crew member as well, Ryan Conley. You may remember him from our very first trip some 10 years ago now, when he so graciously brought me a power cable. He's also a very smart engineer and used to work on brain surgery tools. He's very attentive as he's getting brought up to speed on group dynamics. Returning team member Ryan Erickson is joining us. He's been on the team since the very beginning. He will be tackling navigation and mechanical issues for this trip. And sadly, he gets put right to work.
So I just came over to the Jeep to get it fired up, warmed up, and started up, and it was just running horribly rough. It was just like plum, 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 plum. Kind of sounded like a 2-stroke dirt bike, which is generally not the sound that we're looking for. So I'm gonna give it another try here, see if it's any better. Rough. I wonder if it is just the battery super low. Yeah, it has no voltage.
Attempting to figure out why our brake controller is not communicating. Not a fuse. I have a good ground, and I seem to get voltage when I press on the pedal. So I'm just going to keep poking at buttons so I can find what is not connected or connected poorly. We don't know yet.
What's the voltage readout on that dual USB gauge down there? It's very faint, but in the middle. 12.1.
Yeah.
Something was left on last night.
I'm surprised that it will fire but run that rough.
Yeah. It feels like if it fires at all, it should smooth itself out, which is a little concerning.
Throw like a gel pack or whatever on it, see if it fixes it.
Yep.
This is mine. And I have to push a button on here, probably.
Power. Bada boom.
Blind spot alert.
That's even worse.
Not so far. The battery's dead.
That's
because
it.
I left the key on earlier today.
Today. Oh, okay, so it's a simple problem.
Yes, we think.
And then
it was running really rough.
The rough idling is super weird, but in And we haven't heard that yet, but
it can happen. I've had it happen rarely on things when the battery's like too low to run like the fuel injection and everything else well.
Yeah.
Then it can run.
My old Jeep did that when it. Same thing.
Okay. All right, so it's just a voltage issue.
Saying solid green, which means okay, jump start.
Oh yeah.
Now idle up. If you can idle up to like 2,000.
Nope. Hey, it's telling me I have a low battery.
It's coming back. It's getting better and better.
It's idling right now, but when I push on the gas, absolutely nothing happens. I was holding at like 3,000 RPMs to charge the battery, and then it just cut all the power and down to an idle, and now I have nothing.
I wonder if the revving freaked it out and it like took over.
Maybe.
On to the next thing.
Okay. I hope I found it. Maybe. There's a smash wire sitting underneath where the orange suspension arm comes up to, it kind of contacts a part of the body. I thought, basically what I found out is the red arc system wasn't thinking the trailer was connected. There was power to the system, but it didn't know. And so that sent me back to the trailer end of it, looking at the trailer, open for wires. So I'm about to find out if that's the case or not. Let's go. On top of this, you can see there's even damage on the control arm, or whatever you want, the suspension arm, trailing arm. So it's smashed, and I'm hoping that's just basically shorted or broken enough that the red arc doesn't know that it's there. So if we can fix that, we can have trailer brakes again. Oh yeah, we got broken wires. That's our problem for sure. That makes me happy. I like to know where the problem is.
So fortunately we brought a battery charger with us. So hook that up to the inverter because we still have a good charge in the P-core. And now we're just gonna charge the truck battery with battery chargers so we can get like a good thorough charge on it rather than jumping it because the truck just was not really wanting to run well on lower voltage.
Well, for dinner tonight, some of Tanner Johnson's pulled pork that he smoked here last week. We brought it along. So we're gonna have some pulled pork sandwiches tonight, which I'm actually really looking forward to. I have some of this waiting for me in my fridge back home too. I haven't got to get into it yet. Today our day got eaten up with the battery incident and just chasing things, but we kind of knew we had set aside this day to do that. But we did want to move. So we decided we're going to move tonight. We set a time, 6 o'clock, and we're going to eat before because we know we have to eat. So it's either we hang out now and eat a small snack, but then we get to camp tonight and we'd have to do all of this when we're really tired versus eating a good meal now, driving, and eating a small snack before bed. We're just planning our steps out because you're going to have to eat and you're going to have to sleep.
Hanging out here, gonna take off in about half an hour when the sun goes down and make some tracks to the next campsite. And then after that, trip starts. Let's go.
Oh, Tanner. My friend, that's a good burn you got on that.
So we have had the charger on it for a while now, and our voltage is gone up significantly. Our charger is showing us at about 50%, which was better than 0, what it was earlier. So give it a try, starting it, see if it starts okay, and then if it starts okay, it seems to run smooth, and we'll give it a little test drive, make sure everything's working good, and let it charge the rest of the way on the road this evening. So hopefully that will work, and we can get moving. Contact. Still isn't sounding real positive. But
Sounds a lot better than it did.
It sounds somewhat better. It's better now than it initially did, but it's still. I don't know. I guess we'll give it a drive and see what happens.
Yeah, and the check engine light's blinking again.
I feel like all three of us pilots are
We just lost power.
now with whatever we have to go
Look
through.
at the voltage. It went up to 16 volts. And I lost power. Oh, and I'm dead in the water.
What's he doing? I don't know what he's doing.
You're in park.
It shifted to park.
I shifted
You
it.
okay, Otis?
Maybe.
It's
It just our dash just rebooted and then
It went up to 16 volts.
and then it went up to 16 volts
And I
on
lost
us.
power steering for a second.
And we lost power steering. It's back up to 16 volts, almost 17
lost power
volts.
steering again.
Power steering's dropping in and out.
We might want to turn around and not get too
This
far
thing's
back
kind of
here.
hurting.
It's not happy.
Well, we have hit our first real hurdle, so we are limping back the mile we have covered back to today's camp.
A 16, up to 16 there. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying.
17. That's crazy. Wow. It's like this vehicle's down. It's down. I had that disconnected.
Clear. Moment of truth, Tanner.
Wow.
Dead battery.
Needs an oil change, it says.
Yeah.
Don't think that'll fix it.
Maybe
oil change is required. Wow. I think that battery's a shot.
Yeah.
It charged in no time.
Yeah.
Which is a big red flag.
Yep.
Well, that answers that. We're headed into town tomorrow. Oh boy. It is early morning on the second morning of camp, and we dug into the Jeep last night. We decided that instead of trying to run trucks in with batteries and potentially trying to take the alternator off to get tested, it's just going to be better to tow it. So we are packing up early this morning, and we're going to tow it about 45 miles to Price, Utah. And hopefully the Jeep dealer there can help us out. So got to get going on packing up camp. Not quite how I pictured this part of the trip starting off.
No. No, not quite.
It's been a minute since we towed a vehicle. Matter of fact, we have never had to tow a vehicle into town. We try to make lemonade out of lemons. So here's some beautiful footage of towing a vehicle.
Finally rolling into Price here. Fairly uneventful trip into town, thankfully. Got some good filming done and just pulling into the Jeep dealer now so that we can see if we can figure out what's going on with Odin here, get her back up and running, and get back on the trail.
We are definitely scratching our heads. Statistically, any issue we have had with our vehicles in the past is due to us modifying them. So we suspect that this is the case here. But what? The dealership is stellar at helping us diagnose the problem, and they allow us to collaborate in the process due to the complexity of the build. Eventually we figure it out, and in the most simplest of terms, the issue was a bad battery, which Jeep warrantied for us. And while in the process of us removing the battery, we arced the fuse array that killed a 150 amp fuse, causing all sorts of other issues. Figuring that out took the remainder of the day and half of another day to resolve. The dealer has graciously warranted both of those issues for us, and we are now able to get back on the road. The setback has killed some serious time from our trip, so we decided as a group that we have all spent quite a bit of time through the years in Utah, but we haven't in Arizona, a state we have never really done anything in. So with the time we have left, we would like to spend it in Arizona.
Well, hello, Brian. How's it going?
We made
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Ah.
Morning, guys. It's really good to get out here on the trail with the guys. I can't wait to see what is in store for us. We've got some pretty fun challenges planned up ahead, and I'm really looking forward to this time to just be able to work with friends that I've had for a long time and get to meet some new people and spend time with people I haven't got to spend any time with, and then just kind of dig into the things that I have going on, and there's no better place to do it than being out on the trail with friends, having a good time.
It's crazy that when your career is something you love, you don't realize how much you're working. Early morning call times, early morning wake-ups, and then all the way into late night edits don't feel like a sacrifice when it's something you love. I'm just very thankful, very privileged, very lucky, and I'm just soaking up every little minute of it.
I think in my career of being an overlander and exploring and traveling, that I'm using overlanding to help me with healing. Adventure should never be a crutch or an escape. It can be for a short period of time. It should become this thing that builds into our life instead of hides our life from us, if you know what I mean.
The Arizona Peace Trail has a vision to provide the OHV recreation user with the ultimate off-road adventure through the use of a loop trail system that utilizes existing trails, tracks, and dirt roads in western Arizona by working with cities, county, state, and federal agencies to keep the desert roads and trails open for public use. And it's truly a victory as it pertains to federal and local governments working well with civilian interests for the common good.
Wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those mountains way over there.
Like mesa flat tops?
Yeah, that's really crazy looking.
I'd have to say that the mountain section of the Arizona Peace Trail is pretty tough to beat.
The keystone shot for the episode.
Oh man.
And I was waiting in the undertow. Said a drip fell away like bones. Unaware where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow.
Frankly, so far, this is one of the very best overland routes we have experienced in the U.S.
I fell asleep within an autumn flow. I never knew I drew so far from home. While I was waiting in the undertow.
The trail takes us through the mountains and down into the desert area of Arizona, and we find camp for the night before the main geographic transition.
Well, you just never know where you're gonna land. We landed on a concrete pad in the middle of nowhere. Easiest setup we've had. Circled the wagons. It was fun. Just had like fighter jets flying over the top of us, shooting flares and things. Cool. It's fun.
It was a blast.
Yeah. There's definitely a problem set that we have to figure out on the trail forward of us, that we were going down and looking, and it just turned to marsh. And we're not going to tackle that tonight. So we came back. The guys found this pad. We'll see what we have to do in the morning. But for tonight, there's a good push.
How's it going, Tanner?
Pretty good.
How'd you sleep last night?
Oh, not great. It was windy.
It was a pretty rough night last night.
So I was just checking at where we were at on the battery level of our P-Core. Last trip we were having some power problems, getting into camp late, leaving early, slow moving, fridge running all the time. We put a lithium battery in before we left, which is holding the charge much better than our old one was. It's 160 amp hour from Revolution batteries. And every night we were rolling into camp at 100% charge. Even with the fridge running all night, it's still virtually fully charged. It's been really nice to not have to even think about having to shut things down, or even with our solar panel out, no issues at all with the battery charge. So that's been great.
Okay, I get to tell you a little bit about our food planning. We're in a good spot for food. In fact, I would say, well, because of our sparkling water situation, water's really good too. But we have a lot of food. We have enough food. If you ask Ty, we might live for 5 days. If you ask me, we're gonna go for like 7 days. We could probably go a couple more weeks on peanut butter and tortillas.
All right, so we're doing a fun little exercise here. We're going through the capacity of water that we have and our usage. So through the 2 trailers and 3 trucks, we've got about 120 gallons of capacity. And over the last 3 days, we've gone through 20 gallons, more or less. So based on this current rate, we've got about 2 weeks left, but as we head into Mexico and into the Altar Desert, we expect that temperatures will increase, and we'll be working harder as we run through the sand dunes trying to extract trucks and take photos and video and so on. So our usage will go up, and therefore we'll probably have, I don't know, 6 or 7 days of water left. Until then, we'll conserve our water by drinking the sparkling water and keep an eye on how much we have left so we don't die in the middle of the desert.
So for today, we're looking at doing hopefully 100, 150 miles.
The long-range automotive fuel tanks are paying off, and as far as we can tell, since our refuel in Kingman, it appears we will have enough fuel to get to Yuma in a single stretch, as long as we don't get stuck too much.
Yeah, should have done. It's flexy and sexy.
I didn't care about the PPCs.
Yeah, that's all I really care about.
The Tundra's having to work pretty hard, and it's thirsty.
So soft. Yeah. Woo! Nice work.
It's taking you guys so long.
80 miles to go.
It's obvious that this section of the trail gets most of its use by side-by-sides these days. Hopefully all of you out there can change that.
This big one?
Now allow me to reintroduce myself. They call me J-O-N to the easy E-N. Know that we undefeated, y'all are beneath the speeches trying to air a grievance. But it runs our overhead, better check the air for clearance. Call the tower, this is our grid, heat the air apparent. Really, I've never been better. Legacy, this is forever. All the more times I've been severed, I'm raising the bar, you can go ahead and measure. Think about chop with toes.
Ryan is really good on the chainsaw too. You can tell he spent a lot of time in the woods. All right, I think we're clearing up.
I ain't bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. One more time. This is forever. Remember the legend. He never gonna die. Yeah. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Dead than alive. Yeah. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive.
Yeah, you just never know what you're gonna get, do you?
We've been wondering if we were gonna have to use that chainsaw at all. That might be the only time we have to use it this whole trip, but glad we had it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy we had to use it in the middle of the desert. I wasn't anticipating that.
The Arizona Peace Trail has a great mix of technical sections and high-speed sections. Just as soon as you are looking for something new, it generally gives it to you, at least on the Kingman to Yuma section. A high-speed section brings us right to an amazing feature, Coyote Peak.
Flight restrictions. Clear. Motor. Spare chute. Fuel. Thank you. Kit. Maps working. Detailed LZ.
Yep.
Radio 1 working.
Yep.
Radio 2 working. Ryan.
Secondary.
All right, are we good to take off?
I'm checking winds
Fuel
aloft.
time. Bluetooth working. Phone charged and working. GoPro's working. Osmo, strobes. That's it. Trim set is the last thing.
Tonight, the air is placid, and the warm air matches the feeling of your skin. The feeling is euphoric as we slip through space and time. The sunset is second to none, and from the mountaintops we can see over 100 miles in every direction. If you want to see the world from a new perspective, taking a seat up here will do that.
This is the best day of my life!
Right below you to your left. Copy, I see ya. Looking really good. Looking at Ty, my buddy, flying next to me. Flying like an eagle over a mountain.
It's enough to make a man cry.
It is enough to make a man cry. Yeah.
That's the coolest thing in the world. I'm not cold. I'm not scared, but I'm shaken because I'm literally just vibrating right now because it's just incredibly full. That is a full experience. There's no other way to fit anything else into that moment. It's full.
I think that's in the top 3 things I've ever done in my life.
Hey! Hey! All right. We just had our first flight. Got off the ground. All 3 of us flew together for the first time since August. Man, that was my first flight since August. So.
And you got up on your second try.
Exactly, yeah, you were listening. Good to be back with the boys. We're missing you. Or I'm missing you at least.
Oh my gosh, I miss you.
Friday Night Lights, man. 0-0 end of the first quarter, which is oh yeah, big pass to Delgatti. First down. Just like a minute left in the fourth quarter, we're up 27-6. My boys did it. They're the conference champions. That's the end of the game right there. Victory formation. Woo! I can't be more thrilled for them. I'm so stoked. Whew, now I can sleep.
It has been a killer trip, and tomorrow we will set out to finish the north to south crossing of the Arizona Peace Trail. And beyond that, it will be south of the border to one of the most remote places in North America.